Hello and welcome to Own Your Lane. This is the best place for ambitious people who are taking charge of their lives, making that impact, making that income, and living fulfilling lives. How are you doing today? And today is a very practical subject, one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites because it took me way too long to understand. So it's changing your mind about anything. You know, you can change your mind about anything, right? Well, it's easy. You could say, oh yeah, I know that. But truly, the things that are foundational to you, the things that you believe about yourself, the perspective that you hold about the world, about how things should be, that is all changeable. I say that because I think it's important for us to understand the power of our minds. The mind has been given to us as a tool for effectiveness. I like to say that every creature of God has been given an edge. The lion has a roar. The elephant has the size. The giraffe has the height. The shark has what? I don't know what the shark has. Speed, maybe teeth. But everyone has been given an age. And God gave that age for us to really do well in this earth, to succeed in our existence, to do well, to impact others in a positive way. Okay? So we as humans have the mind as our edge. That's what gives us the difference. There is no animal, no creature that sits down and contemplates and plans and makes missions like the way a human does. And that is what makes us different. But unfortunately, when you understand how the mind works, then you see that most of us are held captive by our minds. When we grow up, we're told certain things about how life works. Like for me, I was told success comes after education. And so I finished my education and waited for success. And I was like, come on, success, give me what you got. But it didn't work out that way exactly. So what we do is over time, our minds are told through experiences, through knowledge, how they should operate. The mind is a system, and every system is meant to make whatever it is fixing or whatever it is doing very efficient. So if a human comes here and carries bags and puts them on top of a truck, another human comes, it's going to take long, people are going to get hurt, it's going to be very inefficient, there are going to be some issues. But if you create a machine that does that, it will be more efficient, it will be faster, it will save time and money, and that's what systems do. And our mind is a system too. So what we do is you feed the system. A system doesn't operate on its own. A system receives information or raw materials, it processes it and gives an output. And so the quality of the output, the quality of your system depends on the input that you are getting in. All right. So that is overall how the mind works as well. The mind is a system for our lives. I believe that we are held captive by that system because it operates efficiently. You put in your stuff, it will give you the output. And most of us want to go to a place that our mind has never been. We want to go to a place, achieve things that our mind is like, okay, give me the input for that. And we don't know what to do. Give me the input for that. Like for me, I was like, I want to build a business empire that creates so many jobs and stuff like that. And my mind was like, but we only know how to get employed. We only know how to get a degree and that's it. So what are you talking about? So I had not given my mind any raw materials. And that's the edge God gave us as humans, the ability to see what we want to achieve and then change the raw materials that we're giving our system and then change that output. So if you don't like the output that you have in your life right now, how your life is looking, what you believe, how you treat other people, how you feel, you don't like it. You're like, I need to change. What do you need? What do you need to change then? The input. Because your mind is that system that takes in all these raw materials and processes it and gives you an output. And most of the times we look at the output and we're like, change your output, eat better, you person, lose weight or start that business, remove fear. You're not fixing the system, you're just dealing with the output, the result. The result is because of a system. The system is producing what you put as an input. Are we together that far? I know I am just putting this together. So here is what I mean, okay? Our minds have been given to us to allow us to direct our lives towards the purpose we desire. If you are in a place where you think, I am not achieving what I desire, it's a great time to start thinking, what do I need to do with my mind? What is going on in my mind? What do I need to change in my mind? The power of the mind is such that when you are used to doing things a certain way, it will not let you divert from that. Just like I was telling you about the system, right? If the system is to carry bags and put them in the car, carry bags and put them in the, you can't just come all of a sudden and say, okay, now we're not carrying bags anymore. The system will have issues. So you need to go back and say, how can we redesign the thing? How can we change this so that it serves the new purpose that we have? So for me in my life, I realized that success was not going to come the way I wanted it. Okay, so I needed to change a few things. I didn't know how. But my mind was like, this is how we do things. This is an efficient system. We have it on lockdown. We don't change it. So even things like I want to wake up earlier so I can read. I want to wake up earlier so I can work out. I want to be nicer to my husband in how I speak. I want to be more generous in my actions. All those things were strange to my system. The mind was like, no, shut it down. We are confused. That's not how it works. So how can you change your mind about anything? First of all, you have to understand everything I've been explaining right now, that your mind is going to rebel. Because sometimes we think, well, I want to change my mind and be generous. And then you find that you have all these resources and you're failing to be generous. And you're like, well, maybe that's not me. No, the system is just telling you that, no, we don't do that. So what you do is you recondition the system, recalibrate the system again. Why? Because you're now saying what we're doing is not working. We're no longer carrying bags from the floor to the car. Let's change it a little bit. The system doesn't have a mind of its own. The system won't say, don't change us, we are the way we are. No, the system is open to you recalibrating it, redirecting it, giving it new raw materials. But you will have to be diligent. You will have to be consistent. That is the only way it's going to work. All this to say that your mind is powerful. Your mind is your edge. Your mind will help you towards the things that scare you, the things that you dream about, the things that you envision, the success that you desire. Your mind will help you with that. But you will have to do some work on the mind. So this is why I'm saying you can change your mind about anything. I changed my mind about what success looks like. I changed my mind about what marriage looks like. I changed my mind about what kind of mother I was going to be. I had a whole mindset. I had been taught certain things. And I came to a place where I realized this won't serve me. So I need to change my mind. So how do we change our minds about anything? Number one, I already said that the mind takes raw materials. You are the one who gives it the raw materials. What are the mind's raw materials? We'll call this the mind's diet. What the mind eats. These are experiences and knowledge. From the time you're little, you're being fed knowledge and experiences. People are treating you a certain way and you're growing, okay? There's some people you meet and they tell you, I don't speak in public. Why? When you dig deep, you find out that when they were little, when they're maybe starting out in school, somebody laughed at them when they spoke or they mispronounced something. And that experience really put them in a space where they were like, I would never do this again. I would not speak again, never again, because of the shame that they felt. So every time they're about to speak in public, that picture comes in. Those feelings are rekindled. And then they say, no, I don't do this. So experiences condition the mind. And there are also things like knowledge. I said knowledge, right? Knowledge conditions the mind. Sometimes you don't need to experience something for you to have it embedded in your mind. You can read a book and it can be so vivid to you, and then you can really take that on as a norm for you. So when you give your mind knowledge from books, from movies, from anything, and experiences from you engaging with life, the mind will tell you, okay, this is what we do, this is what we don't do. Those are raw materials for the processes of your mind. Now, if you are going to change your mind about anything, that means you have to re-engineer it from the source, the knowledge and experiences. That's what I did for me. When I saw that my reality, what my mind does is not helping. You see, sometimes you're just talking with your husband, but you're triggered really fast and you're angry and you don't even understand. You're like, what happened? And you realize, oh, that's how my mind works. When he says that word, it reminds me of what my mom said when I was little, or what happened when my aunt was abused when she was that age. Like, it's a big thing that the mind does. It develops systems. So for you to change your mind, then you have to go like, okay, what experiences do I need to change or to start having? So for me, the experiences were like watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts of people who have successful marriages. Like Marriage Today, that's a podcast that I love. I would just sit there, and I would say it's an experience because I would sit there and I would listen and I would get entangled with it. Be like, wow, It's a whole experience. Like, my body doesn't need to be present for me to experience something. My mind is engaged. I start feeling the feelings they're talking about, and my mind was totally liberated. And it wasn't like listening once, okay? You have to be consistent with the mind, because the mind will think, whoa, this is a glitch. She listened to something positive, let's forget it. But if you want to change your mind, you have to consistently change the raw materials, so much so that the old raw materials don't exist anymore. So another way you experience things is choosing the company that you hang around. When you choose the company that you hang around, the talks you talk about, you're laughing there, you are engaging your mind, and your mind will say, this is normal. So when you go to a new place, it'll be like, this is not normal. You go there again, this is not normal, until it becomes normalized, and the mind thinks, okay, the old is gone, we're doing this now, this is our new reality. And for knowledge, it's the books, it's the TV, it's anything that will bring understanding, anything that will bring insight in your mind in a new way. That is how you transform. Those are the ingredients of your mind. That is the mind diet. And when you change the ingredients, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. You will start seeing the results that are different. The second thing you can do is unlearning. Unlearning is one of the hardest things, because it goes against the grain of the norm. It goes against your comfort zone. You know that I wake up at 5 a.m. I then go to bed again because I snooze that alarm. Then I wake up at 6, I go to bed again. Like, that's how it happens. Now, unlearning that means you go back and understand your triggers. Why do I wake up at that time? Why do I hit the snooze button? And when you start understanding your why, you start questioning it. Is this helping me? Is this supporting the life I want to create? And when you ask those questions, then you start thinking, I need to change. Unlearning is hard because it requires discipline. And usually it's self-discipline. Discipline is better when it is imposed on you, because somebody can come and say, no TV anymore. Or it's time to wake up, and they wake you up. They used to do that when I was little. My mom used to just come take the covers off me. I'll be like, such evil. Like, such evil. Who does that? It's cold. You just can't take the covers off me. But that's how she used to wake me up. That's easier, right? Than you being in your own bed, you being in charge of your own life, and then hitting that snooze button. So unlearning is you just going back to your habits, going back to your choices, going back to the way you think, the way you speak, and thinking, is this really helping me? And this is not what many people do. Many people say, this is the way I am, this is how I am. But we're not the way we are, just like that. Most of the things we have become has been from learning our empowerment, from being hurt, from being disappointed. We build walls. And sometimes those very walls we build will prevent our healing. You know, somebody is coming to support us, and you're like, no, when people speak to me that way, they're coming to hurt me. You see, so the unlearning helps you stay a little more vulnerable, a little more open, but it allows healing. It allows reconditioning. It allows you to really refocus yourself so that you can serve. Your habits, your choices can serve you and help you move towards your desired end. The last thing is training and discipline. Training and discipline. These are not sexy words. These are not words you're going to think, that's amazing. I want to be trained. I want to be disciplined. It's nice when you tell somebody that, well, after this training, you're going to be strong. After this training, you're going to be focused. After this training, you're going to have rewards. It's exciting, right? But the actual training itself, the brick by brick pain and discomfort is not pleasant. And that's why most people prefer to just settle in their discontentment, settle in the average, because training and discipline are not really pleasant when you're going through them. Even the Bible says that. It says training is not pleasant at the time it is being inflicted, but it brings in a reward at the end. Okay? So it's the same thing with this. You have to have a schedule. You have to have a plan for reconditioning your mind. This topic is changing your mind about anything, right? So you have to choose, what am I changing my mind about? Am I changing my mind about my success? Am I changing my mind about my relationships, my faith, whatever it is? When you decide what you want to change your mind about, you really have to sit down and say, okay, why do I think this? For me, I had to sit down and think, why do I think these things? And then what am I going to do about it? So training myself meant, okay, put myself on a schedule where I say, okay, you're not watching any more of these shows. You're not listening to any more of this music. You're not going to watch any more of these movies. You're not going to, like, it's a training. You're removing what you don't need. Because you see, life is like a race or a marathon. It's your fight. It's a fight. I've said three things: a race, a marathon, a fight. But it's true, because all these things require you to be disciplined. Any top athlete knows that they can't eat certain foods. They could love it, they could desire it, but if they desire success, they have to really pick what they can eat and what they can't, because some things that they'll eat will mess up their system and slow them down. That's just how it is. It's the same thing with your life. You might not be a top athlete. Your goals might not be to run or to play basketball or whatever. But for the missions and the things that you desire in your life, there are some things that are not acceptable. For me, for example, when I talk about movies, music, when I talk about the TV comedy shows that I used to love, I had to give those up. Not because they're bad in themselves, but because of where I'm going to. Because of how they would slow me down and weigh me down. You know, I talk to people, I advise people, I am creative, I think of ideas, and if I just put into my mind anything, it can easily contaminate what I carry. So understanding my mission, understanding my role, and being committed to it allows me to say, you know what? No. Allows me to say, you know what? I don't sleep late. No. And it might seem like fun. Yeah, we'll do it. But I'm like, you know what? No. I know what I'm building, I know where I'm going, and I'm not just here to play. And I know it doesn't sound like I'm fun, but I promise you, just being clear about where you're going allows you to endure some pain or discomfort, and there is truly a greater reward to it. Why do you want to change your mind about anything? You must change your mind about some things in your life because you want to intentionally cultivate your success, intentionally achieve your purpose, intentionally live a fulfilling life. This is rare, guys. Not everyone lives a fulfilling life. Many people just live to pay bills. And for you to live a fulfilling life, you will need to make some sacrifices. And everything I talked about in this episode has to do with discipline, has to do with self-sacrifice, has to do with self-control. And those are not really things that people really celebrate. But everyone you admire, I promise you, everyone who has done something with their lives, I promise you, really had to change their mind, and that required discipline. You have to change your mind about some things because the mind is a gift given to you. But if you misuse it, it will drag you away from what you want. I'll give you one more example. Let's say you have an exam. You know you need to pass this exam. You need to pass it because when you pass it, you get your promotion. When you get your promotion, you get the quality of life that you desire. And that's amazing. That's what you want. So you say, okay, I need to pass this exam. And after work, you're tired, but you have that exam tomorrow. So you know you must study. You get home and your mind is used to chilling on the couch and watching some episodes of something, okay? And you're there and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm tired. I deserve this. And then you remember, oh no, I have an exam tomorrow. And that exam is connected to my quality of life. If I pass that exam, I can even get a bigger TV or whatever, you know? So you sit there and you're like, I need to just get off. The mind, you know what it can do? If you have conditioned it in a wrong way, it will tell you, nope, you're on this couch tonight. And you get to a place where you're like, I knew I had an exam. I knew I needed to pass it so that my quality of life can change. I knew it, but I just couldn't move. Your mind is holding you hostage like that because it is a powerful tool, but it needs to be trained. It needs to be guided by you, for you. Otherwise, you'll be sitting on that couch year in, year out, 15 years, and you're like, I'm still writing that exam. I'm still waiting for that quality of life. You're hating everyone who is succeeding because you think it's unfair, but it is your mind that is holding you hostage. What can you do about it? Recondition your mind. Give it a new diet. It's going to be uncomfortable. Unlearn some things. It's going to be uncomfortable. Train and discipline yourself. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you will pass that exam. You will get that quality of life. And when you do it the first time, you go like, there are levels to this. Let me get to the next level. Because now your mind is supporting you, not really contradicting you. A mind that is supporting you will have you sitting on the couch, right? And like, okay, I'm going to watch TV, whatever. And the mind will be like, no, we need to study. You're like, but I just want to watch this TV. You need to study. And you find yourself getting up there because the mind is disciplined. It knows what to do when. The mind is supporting you. The mind is a gift, y'all. But we have to learn to cultivate it and use it for our own good. Use it for our own progress and let it stop sabotaging you. I hope this was helpful for you. There'll be new episodes every week on Tuesdays on YouTube and on Thursdays on the podcast. And if you're ready to really change your mind about some things and find your success, I invite you to check out the Zone of Success in the description. That is a cool, simple, but yet so effective exercise that will help you uncover your gifts and begin to utilize them in a way that matters. It's free, it's amazing, it's short and impactful. Check it out. And if you really want to do deep work and work with me, check out the Circle of Greatness, my coaching program. It's also in the description box. I will see you soon, and let's talk later. Bye.